everyone, it's Eva, and if you guys do a lot of DIYs or go thrift shopping a lot and like to craft things up, I'm sure you guys also have a giant pile or bag of extra fabric scraps that you're like, what am I gonna do with this? Like, it's too small to make any pieces of clothing out of, and it's also too big to just toss out, you know? So I figured, let's actually put that stuff to use and actually make things out of it, and I thought the best thing would be headbands. I chose headbands because I have tons from like grade 8-ish type of days when I used to be so obsessed with headbands. I had so many different kinds, and looking back on it, I don't think I would really wear any of them as is because a lot of them are like neon colored or way too thick, and it's just, they need some revamping. So basically that's what I did. I took all my fabric and I made them into cute headbands that I can now wear currently. Let me know down below if you guys have any other ideas for what to do with your fabric scraps. I have a lot of tiny pieces that I need to get rid of or use because I feel like it's kind of like wasteful having them sit in the corner. Other than that, let's just start these DIYs, and I'm going to start off with my favorite and the easiest one, which is this little headband right here. I've wanted to buy a headband like this for so long, but I always told myself not to because it's so simple to make and I could never find the perfect one for me in terms of fabric and color, and now I have the perfect one. So let's get crafted. First things first, obviously you need a headband of some sort and some type of fabric. Whatever fabric you choose, I would definitely recommend that you go with something that's not too stiff, so like not actual heavy denim. Now with the fabric, you're going to want to take two pieces, put them together, and trace out a long trapezoid-like shape. Then take a pair of good scissors. The scissors I'm using are not good at all, so it was a bit of a struggle, but taking the scissors, cut out the trapezoid on the two pieces of fabric, so that way you have two almost identical pieces. Next up, because this is a no-sew project, we're going to be using hot glue because hot glue is the nicest thing to use on things where you don't need to throw it in the wash. So with the hot glue, you're going to want to go around the edges and hot glue the two good sides together. But make sure that you leave one pocket because we're going to want to flip it inside out. When you're done, you're going to want to flip it inside out, and it's going to look like a trapezoid pillowcase almost. And from there, you're going to want to seal that little pocket hole that you left just so that it's one full sheet of fabric. Now with some more of the same fabric, or if you want to be adventurous, you can obviously use different fabric as well. You're going to want to take it and cut out a piece that's long enough to wrap around the headband, and from there you're going to want to take the hot glue and glue it on. I also did not want the fabric to fray because I found that that was happening, so I just took the hot glue again and I kind of just put like a really thin layer and kind of just started smoothing it over the edges. That way it kind of seals it in place. Plus it kind of adds some extra grip that you kind of covered up when you put the fabric on top and over. And finally, going back to that trapezoid piece of fabric, you're going to want to take it, and wherever you think is ugly on your headband, wherever you screwed up, just take it and tie a simple knot. That's literally all there is to it. And if there is no ugly spot, then that works out because you can pretty much just move the little bow around wherever you want. So if you want to be in the middle, you just move it there. But I kind of like it to the side, so I'm just going to stick with that. And that's pretty much it. You're done with this headband, so let's go on to the next one. Alright, so next up we have this lacy cat ear headband, and I really love this. I wanted something that was kind of cat-eared because I've just seen it everywhere and I want my own. And I want it to be personalized, kind of to suit my taste, and I figured having lace on it would make it look more elegant and would match a lot of girly outfits. Okay, so first things first, I did not have anything silver in terms of the material that I needed, so I did a lot of painting. So with my headband, I painted it silver, and my silver paint was pretty nice from the dollar store because it doesn't really chip off, and if it does chip off, it's kind of like rubbery, so the whole thing cuts off. So it's not super messy, it's not gonna get in your hair. And yes, I am using scrap fabric as a brush because I neglected to get one and there was no time, so I was like, whatever, let's just use this fabric to be a brush. Next up, I had wire on hand, so that's what I used. However, you can use something like cardboard and just paint it silver, whatever you prefer, anything to kind of get that little triangle shape. But using those wires, you're going to want to bend a nice triangle shape. I wanted softened edges, so that's what I did, but if you want sharp edges, go for that as well. Again, I did paint the wire silver since it was gold. When the wire is dry, or even when you're done shaping it, if it's already silver wire, you're going to want to take it and glue it on some lace. I chose some pretty parts of the lace that I thought would look nice showing through the wire frame. After that, you're going to want to cut that out and do the same to the other side, that way there's lace on both sides. Next, just trim it, and this part is optional, but I kind of just did it because I want to seal off the ends, and I really don't like things fraying, and I don't want, you know, loose threads getting all up in my hair. So I took the hot glue and I kind of just went around the edges just to make an extra frame around it almost. And then to bring it all together, just so that it looks more cohesive with the headband itself, I decided to paint the edges of the triangle ears. I found that the best way and the laziest way was to just put a glob of silver paint and then dip each side into it. That way it's all kind of the same level almost, and same thickness of paint. And finally, we need to attach it to the headband. If necessary, which was necessary for me, I had to bend the wire a little bit, which is why it's good that you use wire. But I bent it so that it'd be slightly curved and would fit on the headband much better. And then after that, just take your handy dandy glue gun and just glue gun into place. After that, we are done and we have a cute cat's ears headband. With this out of the way, let's move on to the very last one. Okay, so this is the last headband, and honestly, it kind of reminds me of Minnie Mouse just because of how big the bow is and the fact that it's in the middle. You can even add some ears as well if you want it to be literal Minnie Mouse. But I really needed to use this fabric since I have so much of it from an old DIY. Comment down below if you guys remember where this fabric is from and what DIY video I used it in, because I think I used it in multiple ones, just because I really need to get rid of it. Pretty much you just have to make a bow. If you already know how to make a bow, you just make the bow, glue it on, done. But if you do not know how to make a bow, here's the quick little tutorial. First off, you're going to want a wide and somewhat long rectangle of fabric. I did not want the edges to fray again, so I did take the hot glue and glue the edges down. Kind of like hemming it, but with glue. And then taking a skinnier strip of fabric, you're going to want to do the exact same thing because you don't want it to fray. Alright, so with the wider fabric, you're going to want to take it, put it down on some type of flat surface just to make things easier, and then fold the two ends together into the middle. From there, if you scrunch it in the middle, you can kind of see it start to form a bow. And now that you can visually see the bow, you're going to want to take the thinner piece of fabric and just slip it under, and then over, and then just glue it in place. Do the same thing to the back and glue that in place too. You should have two loose ends of the thinner fabric, which is perfectly fine. All you have to do is just put glue between it and then just glue it onto your headband. After that, cut off any excess fabric and then take the fabric and wrap it under the headband. And of course, you glue that in place. An optional step, which is basically a step that I've done for all the other headbands, is if you want to seal the ends to make it more smooth, just take the glue gun glue and smooth it over. After that, you're done. You have a giant bow headband that looks amazing. And that's all the headbands. So let me know down below which one was your favorite. Mine was definitely the first one. I think that's gonna match with so many outfits and make them look so much better. Other than that, please give me a big thumbs up if you enjoy these videos. If you want to see any other videos, let me know down below. Subscribe if you haven't because I post weekly videos, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!